point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. In your thoughts and prayers, please remember Sergeant First Class Scott Strohmeyer of Carteret and also Barbara Cross, wife of former Personnel Director Tom Cross. Dennis, salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Margaret.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante. Freeholder Delina. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Here. Proclamations.
We have one proclamation this evening recognizing April 28, 2011 as Workers' Memorial Day in Middlesex County.
Thank you. Commemorative resolutions.
We have a few this evening. The first is recognizing Walter Lemiska of Scotch Plains, formerly of Woodbridge Township, as he receives the Distinguished Flying Cross. Next is recognizing Freeholder Director Christopher Rafano, as he is the 2011 recipient of the Hubert H. Humphrey Friend of Labor Award, and Robert Jackson, as he is the 2011 recipient of the Labor Person of the Year Award, as named by the AFL-CIO Labor Council. Next is recognizing Helen Gottlieb of Edison Township, as she is the 2011 recipient of the Peg Roberts Award. Next is recognizing Leslie Dominguez Rodriguez of the City of Perth Amboy, as she is named the 2011 recipient of the Volunteer Service Award from the NAACP Perth Amboy Area Branch. And last is recognizing Thomas Grant of Boy Scout Troop 90 and Matthew Dobromilski of Boy Scout Troop 54, as they have achieved their Eagle Scout Awards.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Deputy Director Ron Rios to make the first presentation.
I want to bring to everyone's attention that we have a gentleman here with us this evening who certainly deserves a lot of recognition. A lot of times people, and a lot of times mostly young adults or children, look up to sports figures, people with baseball caps or play on a basketball court or on a football field as heroes. Well, we have a hero here tonight, and his name is Walter Lemiska, and he just received the Distinguished Flying Cross Award from the United States government for his action in World War II. And we have a resolution here recognizing him for his, I have to say, his great work, his heroism, his dedication, his true patriotism to our great country. And there's a few sayings that you see around the United States, New Jersey, and Middlesex County, and some of them are, one of them is, some gave all, and all gave some. But we can't forget our military personnel for every wars. And this gentleman, after World War II, just received this medal. And I just want to congratulate him and say, on behalf of Middlesex County, thank you so much for what you have done to protect us and be able to salute that flag every day and enjoy the freedoms. Because of people like you, we're able to live in this country free. Mr. Lemiska, would you please come up for our resolution from the board? Would you like to say a few words?
I never realized when I reapplied for this thing that I got 66 years late, that I would be making speeches and everything, but I want to thank everybody, and I appreciate it.
Freeholder Valente? Boy Scouts.
It's an honor and a privilege to make these two presentations. One to Thomas Grant, a member of Boy Scout Troop 90. He's worthy of special recognition as he attains Eagle Scout status, which is the highest rank in the Boy Scouting program. I think, Freeholder Rafano, would you join me? Sure. He was an Eagle Scout. Tom worked with the Middlesex County Veterans Advisory Council to collect personal hygiene items for wounded troops in Afghanistan and Iraq, as well as the troops helping with the relief efforts in Haiti. A resident of Kendall Park, Tom set up several collection bins in local stores, churches, and schools, and then sorted out and packaged the products to be brought to McGuire Force Base, where it will be distributed. So on behalf of the Board of Freeholders, we wish to congratulate Tom Grant for his service to the community and on achieving Eagle Scout status.
Thomas, would you come forward, please?
I would like to thank my family and the Middlesex County Veterans Advisory Council for all their help in helping me achieve this great goal. I'm very thankful.
And we have another one. It has come to the attention of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders that Matthew Dromomilski, I hope I pronounced that right, a member of Boy Scout Troop 54, is worthy of special recognition as he attains Eagle Scout status, which is the highest rank in the Boy Scouting program. Whereas for his Eagle Scout project, Matthew Dromomilski assisted the Middlesex County Office of Veterans Internment Services by identifying the Middlesex County grave sites of the veterans of the War of 1812. And whereas Matthew Dromomilski, a resident of Jamesburg, compiled the various grave sites in a brochure-like report listing the different veterans at their individual grave sites. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex that we do hereby recognize and congratulate Matthew Dobromilski for his service to the community and on achieving Eagle Scout status. Congratulations. This was adopted. It will be adopted tonight. Matthew, will you come forward? Congratulations.
What's that? Oh, it does.
I think they want you in the middle for a picture.
Okay. And there's probably about 5,000 farmland. That's how we put it together.
Let's hear it. Okay, moving on. We're going to deviate from the regular order of business to consider 2 resolutions and present checks. Let's consider Resolution 11-630, Sustainable Economic Growth Improvement Fund Grant to the Township of Cranberry.
So moved.
Okay?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Polo, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Actually, we have to open to the public
Yeah, it's
first.
open public first.
Okay, let's open to the public first. Anyone from the public on Resolution 11-630? Anyone from the public? Need a motion to close?
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now I need a motion to adopt Resolution 11-630.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Polo, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. Freeholder Paulos to present.
Sure.
I think Councilman Dave Cook and Councilman Glenn Johnson are here. Why don't you guys come forward?
Before I make the presentation, let's just take a moment of your time to give you a brief history of this sustainability grant. This was a program that we initiated actually about 7 or 8 years ago as a downtown economic development sustainability opportunity. We are in, at that time, we were, and certainly no different today, in an economy where we were trying to help our communities grow their commercial base within their communities, knowing that by assisting towns to grow their commercial base, they would relieve the burden, the tax burden, on the residential portion of their communities. There were a lot of programs out there that helped downtowns, but at that time there weren't that many that would provide small grants coupled together with other dollars to be able to make projects worthwhile. So the Economic Development Grant Program was born. Grants were up to $100,000 funded through capital dollars put in the budget by the Board of Freeholders. And the exciting thing about the initiation of the program was that we saw in very short order that the dollars that we invested, the maximum of $100,000, the return on that was sometimes $3 to $4 in new development or new construction that occurred. It's not too often where you can invest dollars and actually realize more value as a result of it. This program proved itself. 3 years ago, as a result of our Go Green, Save Green initiative, which is to try to make Middlesex County more sustainable, we altered the requirements to allow communities to actually apply for dollars to become more sustainable, to use it towards green projects, LED light fixtures, solar projects, insulation of buildings, anything in their public building that would make their community more sustainable, reduce the cost of power and certainly the consumption of power, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions was something that was now eligible. So we're pleased tonight, under our revised Sustainability Economic Development Grant, to present a couple of checks to 2 communities. And our first is to Cranberry Township, who will be putting in new thermal insulated, better insulated windows into their municipal buildings, which is going to reduce their energy costs. And congratulations, gentlemen. And then we'd like to have you say a few words as well.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Picture first? Picture first.
Okay. I want to thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to speak to this check as well. You mentioned about tax relief and the like. The environment now, I'm sure everyone can identify with some sort of tax relief on any level, state, municipal, as well as county. I can tell you that this check will be very much appreciated, as well as that Cranberry's municipal building was actually built in 1896, and it's a wonderful old school building. And thank God we've been able to save it throughout the decades as well from the wrecking ball, but also being able to bring it back and use it as an actual township municipal office, but also to keep it green as well, and this money will help us do that. Thank you very much.
Now, don't go anywhere. There's one more check you're going to get.
We're next. Okay.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Oh, okay.
And then
Your turn. And with the Reinhardt family also? I love these cardboard checks, but usually they're bigger, aren't they? I mean, can't we make them any bigger?
No one's cheaper.
Okay, I guess we're out of budget. But this is special, a very special evening because once again, Middlesex County was committed, to buying open space. Once again, we're buying 61 acres in Cranberry, the historic town of Cranberry, as the councilman had said. There's another farm that may have been developed or could have been developed, and as Roy Rogers said, buy land, they don't make it no more. So we are committed on the county level to make sure that we spend your tax dollars wisely on these kind of purchases, especially open space tax. It's more and more difficult to make sure that we move that forward too. But we're going to work to make that happen. But thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. So far this year, we've closed on 2 farms in Cranberry. We're working on 2 more farms in Cranberry, and the other one is yours. So hopefully, we're able to accomplish that in the very near futures. But thank you for being the property owner that wants to do that, because there's so many property owners out there that don't want to do it and want to sell it to developer to be developed. But Cranberry is such a unique town that we're glad to see that the farms are going to be able to be preserved there. Because once you do a farmland preservation, not that this is, it's preserved forever. And the family could stay there and farm it for generation after generation, but they'll stay that as a farm. So thank you for working with us, and thank you for being a property owner to move this forward with us. Thank you very much. How about Councilman?
Okay. I guess I'm here a second time, obviously. One of the things I do want to make clear here is that all of us in public service as well as in private sector, and I'm looking at the audience, I think everyone might be in public service here too, is that open space in New Jersey is very important. And it's without the foresight of the freeholders or landowners like Mr. Reinhardt, without that, we don't get anywhere close to retaining the value of New Jersey as an actual national treasure. I want to say that to me, and I think others in this room, it's as important as I think maybe, and we mentioned John Muir a little bit earlier this evening, who put together the Sierra Club and saved Yosemite and Sequoia National Park. New Jersey is a national treasure, and it's the county freeholders and ourselves and groups like Open Space and other groups that allow us to save these open spaces. It's very important, and I want to thank you for allowing us to save space in Cranberry. Thank you.
Presenting with the check.
Okay.
Okay. They already got their check.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point in time, it's time to consider resolution number 11-631, Sustainable Economic Growth Improvement Fund grant to the Township of North Brunswick. I'd like to open resolution 11-631 to the public. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Deputy Director Rios. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. A motion to adopt resolution number 11-631.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Polo, seconded by Deputy Director Rios. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. I believe Councilman Carlos Socho is here, and also Glenn Sander. Come on up, guys.
Well, it's an honor to have Council President Socio here. And Glenn, we've worked on a grant for sustainability in their community in the past. I believe we did a solar-powered water heater in your Public Works building a few years ago. North Brunswick's always been at the cutting edge of trying to be involved on the green initiatives. Their council spends an enormous amount of time focusing on this issue, trying to, they have a sustainability plan that they're working on and green initiatives throughout the town. So this will fund LED light fixtures in one of their parking lots. We estimated that the payback on this is going to be a little less than 6 years, which is phenomenal. And from then on, North Brunswick will continue to save even more money. So the grant for tonight is for $60,000.
Thank you, Freeholder opposed. Good evening, Freeholder Board. Good to see all of you. North Brunswick is very proud of our green initiatives. This is our second grant. We've received about approximately $135,000 in green initiative money. Our first project was indeed a hot water heater in our town hall. This is going to go for LED lightings in our municipal building parking lot also. We already have 2 light fixtures up. We are really pleased with it. We are looking at an annual savings of approximately $11,000. And the good thing about us putting these in is that we are going to utilize our shared service agreement with the with like the Board of Education in our township. So really, it's a big savings all around, and it really utilizes our shared services agreement. So on behalf of Mayor Womack, the entire council, and Mr. Sandor, we would like to say thank you very much and look forward to our continued partnership in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion to resume the regular order of business?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Correspondence, Margaret.
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Need a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder H. James Polos.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Just a couple quick items, and then just a comment on one resolution. We are beginning our paving program in the County Road Department. Announcements have gone out to municipalities about the county roads that will be paved in their communities over the course of the spring and summer months. Our community transportation safety program is moving ahead very well. We're organizing meetings with various associations and organizations for pedestrian safety, and next week we'll be unveiling a new pedestrian safety trailer that can be utilized by municipalities. It's an excellent shared service opportunity. This trailer is a 6x8 trailer, and on top of it is a large poster board type sign that tells drivers to stop at intersections. According to the new rules, you need to now stop instead of yielding for pedestrians and crosswalks. It lays out what the fines and violations are. It's a very visible reminder to drivers. Communities are already calling about being able to utilize it, and we'll be kicking that off next week. We're very excited about that. It's been funded through a state highway traffic safety grant. Our school training and response teams, groups, our working committees have been meeting essentially amongst themselves and discussing issues going forward. And we're scheduling now an incident command training program for early June. More information to come out on that very shortly. It'll be the first of its kind of training for school officials for our new safety initiative to make our schools better prepared to respond to any type of an emergency. On the agenda tonight is one item. I'll comment on it now because I know I won't get the chance to later. It is Resolution 110755, and it is our initiative to install approximately 8.5 megawatts of solar power at our North Brunswick complex. I want to thank Freeholder Tamaro, who's our engineering liaison, for working with engineering on this initiative to help further the sustainability of Middlesex County. But in order to understand completely the magnitude of this initiative tonight that we're embarking upon, you need to take a moment to understand a short history of how we've gotten here. It wasn't that long ago, just 7 short years ago, when we purchased our first hybrid cars. We purchased 5 Toyota Priuses, and 7 years ago, for those who may not remember, the idea of either using a hybrid vehicle or implementing solar was a very foreign idea. In fact, when we bought the first 5 hybrid cars, I remember that we held a kind of a seminar, if you will, for municipal officials at our area garage, and one mayor came to the meeting, saw the hybrid cars for the first time, and I say affectionately said, well, that doesn't look that odd. He says, I thought hybrid cars had horns. The point of it is that it was just 7 short years ago where we were all very much in the dark about what green technology was. Today, we kind of accept it. It has become the norm. But during that 7-year cycle, after the initiation of hybrids here, we became the first county government to initiate a ground solar power installation at our Davidson Mill Park, a 10-kilowatt program and initiative that was funded by the Board of Public Utilities. In 2006, we were recognized as the only county in the state of New Jersey to establish a group specifically focused on energy technology implementation and green technology. We called it the Middlesex County Showroom of Environmental Technology. And that group was the only group to date in the state of New Jersey that was officially recognized by the DEP Commissioner and the Board of Public Utilities President as a verified and bona fide group and a source and resource for the state to utilize to roll out green technology in Middlesex County. And during those years, since 2006, we've done just that. I would invite anyone who would like to see more about what MCSET has done to go to our website, mcset.com, to see a great history of how we've gotten to where we are today. And after we initiated our ground solar power installation, shortly thereafter, we were recognized by the New Jersey Board of Utilities as a clean energy leader in the state of New Jersey, the only municipality that year to receive that award. We then embarked upon the development of a sustainability plan. And I'm pleased to tell you that in 2010, we actually adopted the first county sustainability plan in the state of New Jersey. It was a great composite effort of stakeholders throughout Middlesex County, elected officials, municipal officials, business owners, and others who had a real vested interest to come up with a dynamic plan, something that had actual goals and metrics, a pretty bold statement for a government to make, to put out there in public, and established a sustainability plan that has now become a model being utilized by the DEP and the Board of Public Utilities for counties throughout New Jersey. In fact, you can access that sustainability plan through our mcset.com website. That year, we also received the DEP Award for the Sustainability Community of the Year Award from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. In 2010, we were the first, and as a result of our leadership in green technology, to receive a state grant. In fact, the grant was awarded by the Board of Public Utilities President at our facility in North Brunswick. We received a state grant to hire an audit firm to come in and do an energy audit of our North Brunswick complex. The firm was Dome Tech. They did an outstanding job. 75% of that program, I should say, of that professional fee was paid by the State Board of Public Utilities. The county paid 25%. Probably the best dollars that we ever spent. Shortly after having that audit report done, we needed a new air conditioning unit at our archives building. And as a result of having that archives, that assessment done, and having our ducks in a row, if you will, we were able to apply for a state grant through a program to be able to fully fund 80% of the cost of that new air conditioning unit at our archives building, saving the county about $160,000. That document that was created by Dome Tech was not only an energy assessment and a kind of an energy efficiency assessment of our North Brunswick complex, but it also laid out a very considerable plan for solar implementation at the North Brunswick complex. That initial plan called for, without taking too much land, called for a 4.5 megawatt opportunity, utilizing building roofs, parking lots, and open space throughout the complex. Today, we've taken maybe a bolder step forward by suggesting that we could do even more than the 4.5 megawatts originally recommended, which is a good thing for our county and for the taxpayers of Middlesex County. But that report, it turns out, really became the underpinning for the steps that we're taking today, which is to move forward with their recommendations to not only make our North Brunswick complex more energy efficient, but to bring it forward into the solar plan. So I'm excited about this opportunity tonight. I think it's a great initiative for us to move forward on, and one that I'm certainly fully supporting as one who has really worked on these green initiatives for the last 7 or 8 years. Looking forward to working with Freeholder Tamaro and the rest of the board to initiate this, to make sure that this document fully covers all of the potential pitfalls that these type of lease agreements can establish. Having worked on this now for a number of years myself, I am aware, as I'm sure our attorney is and our engineer is who are going to be working on this, that these documents can sometimes be ripe with pitfalls and problems. So we need to be extra careful that we're protecting the interests of our stakeholders, which are our residents and taxpayers, for the next 10 and 15 years that this agreement will be in place. There are the last 2 things that I'd like to mention with respect to it are really 2 recommendations, and the board will have to concur on this, or at least that I hope that they do. For some time now, I've been recommending that we do a master plan of our property. We own 160 acres there, and 80 of it approximately are going to be used for this development. We have 160 acres of site. What I've recommended for quite some time is that we do an engineering feasibility analysis of what the utility of that land should be. The county owns many buildings. It also leases many buildings throughout Middlesex County. I am a believer that it's much better to own than it is to lease. We need to look at a quick consolidation plan of how we could move many of our leasehold opportunities to our North Brunswick complex and construct and make new buildings that will be there for a lifetime. And I think that it's something that can be done rather quickly, knowing that we have a list of where our leaseholds are, and in a worst case scenario, if all of them were to move to North Brunswick, and I know that that's not realistic, how much land would we need to do that? What that will do is leave us a remaining footprint of what we have available to utilize for solar power. It was mentioned at the meeting the other day that the agreement would be structured in such a way where the solar could be moved. Well, there are costs relating to that, and those costs would be borne by us. So it seems to me prudent and something that can be done quickly to assess what our current leasehold provisions are, including our warehouse for our public properties and for our purchasing department and all of other leases, and determine what is the maximum footprint that we could utilize. It was suggested the other day that we are reorganizing and we should wait till that's complete. I disagree insofar as if we're reorganizing and consolidating, the amount that we determine today will certainly be less than what we're saying we might need. So if we go in with what our maximum requirement is, we certainly should never have to exceed that, and it will give us a useful footprint to implement this program for solar technology. And if it alters it slightly, better that we alter it now than having to pay the bill down the road. The last recommendation that I would make, and I think that we can do this quickly and simultaneously, is to reach out immediately, and I'm sorry that I wasn't more aware of the process and the timing of this. Had I been, I would have recommended this a few months ago. We should reach out immediately to our school districts, our municipalities, the Ed Services Commission, and our utility authority to determine if they have any need, current or pending or in the future, to consider a PPA. We should bring them into the fold immediately, bundle together our utilization and our sizing so that we're going out in one bid. As a county, freeholders, we should be taking the lead. We should be taking the lead in shared services. We should be taking the lead in working together with our communities. And I think that rather than just come out today and announce that we're doing this, we should announce today that we're doing this, but we're inviting our communities and our municipalities and school districts to participate. The buying power that we can have with our large purchase, the efficiencies of scale that we can implement with our professionals team who's already being hired, is the right move for us to offer this to our communities. Why should a small community like a Cranberry or Helmetta or Metuchen go out and do their own when they could saddle together with us and get the efficiencies of scale, the same buying power, the same product, the reduced cost of electricity, and being able to reduce the overall cost of the project? So I'm asking the board's support tonight to immediately authorize our outreach to our communities to do an immediate assessment of what their needs may be. I spoke today to several school district people who are excited about the opportunity to participate, and I think we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't at least extend this immediately and begin that process. And in all candor, if it means adding additional staff to be able to do the development of it in order to meet the December 31st timeframe, then we should do that in the best interest of our communities if the current staffing and professional team isn't capable of taking on the additional responsibility. But we'd be missing an absolute prime opportunity to use an 8.5 megawatt purchase to be able to buy down the pricing and cost for other installations that we could bundle together. Director?
What?
Your thoughts?
We're going to wait till we consider the resolution.
I'm sorry?
We're going to wait till we'll hear from professionals when we consider the resolution. I'll ask them that question. Okay? Is that your report, Freeholder?
That's my report.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Deputy Director Rios?
Thank you, Director. Tonight we are voting on a new contract for food services for the Department of Corrections and Youth Services. This contract is for meals served to inmates at the jail and residents at the Youth Services Facility. A company named Gourmet Dining submitted the lowest bid. What is significant is that if we approve this contract tonight, the county will pay less than what we currently pay for food services. The bottom line is that our cost for meals at the jail and the youth services facility would drop by 9% from current levels and will remain flat for the next 3 years. This is great news for taxpayers of Middlesex County. The county will save approximately $233,000 this year and more than $800,000 over the next 3 years, assuming current budget levels. I encourage my freeholder colleagues to approve this resolution that will result in cost saving for all our taxpayers. The Middlesex County Fire Marshal has been awarded for fiscal year 10 Port Security Grant for shipboard firefighting training in the amount of $460,000. The Middlesex County Fire Marshal coordinates firefighting training and resources for numerous municipal fire departments located in the area on the waterfronts: Perth Amboy, Carteret, Woodbridge, South Amboy, Sayreville, and Old Bridge. The County Fire Marshal will provide shipboard firefighting training to 200 firefighters from the above municipalities. This funding is necessary in order to expand the number of firefighters trained in shipboard firefighting, and it certainly will make our firefighters so much better trained in case we have an incident. I'm pleased to announce that the Middlesex County Fire Marshal's Office has taken delivery of a new rescue truck along with all of its specialized equipment. This equipment and training will ensure that Middlesex County will be able to respond to any emergency, including building collapse, trench, or confined space rescue. Middlesex County will now be the 7th county to be trained and respond out of the 21 counties in the state. On this Saturday, April 30th, the Sheriff's Department is participating in Operation Take Back. And this is a program to enable anyone to get rid of their unused or expired medications for safe disposal. The Sheriff's Office will have a drop-off site at the Middlesex County Family Courthouse at 120 New Street in New Brunswick from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And today is Workers' Memorial Day, and we had Workers' Memorial Day services that I attended in Carteret, and then we had Workers' Memorial Day services right here in the administration building in our freeholder meeting room today, and some of my freeholder colleagues were present as well. And it's just a reminder that today is the anniversary date of OSHA, and the AFL-CIO set aside this date for worker safety to encourage people to work safer, no matter what job, what profession you have, whether it be in an office, in a factory, a construction site. There are hazards in any workplace, and too many people die because of workplace hazards. This year alone, since last Workers' Memorial Day, the state of New Jersey, we lost 40 workers. That's 40 too many. So I just encourage everyone to think before you do things on the job. Make sure it's a safe environment, and hopefully we'll have none next year. And that concludes my report, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Charlie Tamaro.
Yes, thank you, Director. We all know that the green energy has exploded in the state of New Jersey, and anytime, even now, you make a product, the product has to be made with recycled products, especially in governmental jobs. And the solar industry has truly taken off. I mean, in Edison alone this year, PSE&G opened up a farm at the end of Meadow Road. At the end of Silver Lake Road. And just maybe a month ago or a couple weeks ago, a building on Talmadge Road, the largest solar installation on top of a roof in the state of New Jersey, was a ribbon was cut for that. Everywhere you look at now, it's solar energy panels are being installed. Companies are growing all over the state of New Jersey. As a matter of fact, as I said on Monday, and it's worth repeating today, there was a company from South Plainfield that in 2008 started with 15 employees. Today they have 175. Because of the need and the want for solar energy. And as I asked on Monday night, and I will be asking again this evening, that I would request a resolution be added to retain the services of CME and the Willens firm to proceed with the solar energy purchase power agreement on our Apple Orchard Lane facility. To implement this initiative will provide 90% of our energy requirements and save us over $14 million. I strongly urge the support of this entire Freeholder Board of this important initiative. In addition, we need to start doing a study, and I'm going to ask the Freeholder Director and the County Administrator to proceed to work with the appropriate departments throughout the county to develop a sustainable energy master plan. The solar energy savings program outlined Monday night will be one part of this plan, which will encompass a plan to pursue the initiatives proposed by Dome Tech and study conducted last year. So I would ask the board to support this resolution, which we're going to add on the agenda, and also to move forward with a study so we can, do more solar saving program throughout our buildings. I also want to congratulate the Eagle Scouts that were here this evening. That's quite an accomplishment. I've had the pleasure, I served 11 years as a committee chairman of a Boy Scout troop, and my son's an Eagle Scout, and it's something to be very proud of. I know that Chris is an Eagle Scout, and I've helped many Scouts with their Eagle projects, and if you just have an opportunity to look at this young man's Eagle project, it's really did an awesome job on putting a booklet together about veterans who were buried in Middlesex County from the War of 1812. We have a lot of history in our community, and it should be preserved, and this is one way to preserve it and for people to recognize it. Thank you, Freeholder Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Blanquita Valente.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I have a whole page full of upcoming special events from the Department of Aging. I will not read them all, but I want to really invite all the freeholders to attend the 90 birthday bashes. We have 3 of them this year, on May 4th in Old Bridge, May 9th in South Brunswick, and May 18th in Piscataway, and they're all from 11 to 1. And the theme this year is Older Americans Months, Connecting the Community. Also, in the months of July through August, we have a Senior Citizen Art Contest and exhibit. This year it will be at Middlesex County College, like last year. And on May 23rd through the 27th is the Middlesex County Senior Health and Fitness Week. And I invite all my Freeholders colleagues to attend the Senior Health and Fitness Walk in Roosevelt Park on September 21st. And let me tell you, I was challenged every time I go because they all pass me by. We have a lot of wonderful people that come for this, and afterwards there's a picnic, and our Department of Aging, under the leadership of Peg Chester, they do a wonderful job for the day. And I believe that's, I wanted to bring something up. Under the President's budget, I have to say that Department of Aging has done better than other areas, and there will be some increase in some of the funds for the Department of Aging for this coming year. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. Resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Resolutions to be added?
Yes, Freeholder Director, we have 2 resolutions proposed for addition. The first is to award a contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Gourmet Dining LLC, for the furnishing of food service and food service management required by the Middlesex County Department of Corrections and Middlesex County Department of Youth Services in a total amount of $7,741,887.62 for a period of 3 years, bid number PO 11-133.
Motion to add?
Any motion?
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Deputy Director Rios. Roll call?
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes.
And that would be Resolution 11754. The second resolution has been referred to earlier in the meeting and Monday evening, and that is to accept proposals of CME Associates to provide energy consulting services for the design and construction management of a solar energy savings program for Middlesex County at the Apple Orchard Lane Complex, cost not to exceed $643,000, and Walentz, Goldman, and Spitzer to serve as special counsel in connection therewith, fee not to exceed $120,000, fees to be reimbursed to the county by the successful bidder. to utilize privately funded PPA option for said program, and to authorize solicitation of proposals using competitive contracting procedures of proposals for a 15-year PPA. Need a motion and a second.
Yes, just a question, or a statement anyway. We should proceed at this point in time, and I direct this to our attorney and the engineer for this project. I understand that this is a very time-sensitive project, that we're kind of under the gun to get this project.
It is time-sensitive because the grant ends on December 31st. So you have to get out the bid, and it'll take us at least a month to expect to get it to bid. And then after the bid, we need about 6 weeks for the bidders to come back. And then if there's a bid problem, as invariably happens, you're running into a very tight time frame. So this is a little different. This was the second phase, as we looked at it, of a three-phase project. One, the county college we started with, just like we moved forward to BPA. As you know, their price is 2.6 cents. It's fixed for 5 years. We're going to escalate by 2.5 cents. The second phase would be Apple Orchard. To get maximum benefits. And the third phase would be other municipalities or towns. Now, when we first were instructed to go to the MCA, they prepared letters to all the municipalities if they were interested in the program. They got 4 responses on that. So there didn't seem to be great interest. Now, we can go back and try and get a great interest, but the three of us have to make certain decisions. Are you willing to fund for all of these? I mean, the reason they want to come to a county project is, number one, so they can get funding, which would be cheaper than their funding. Number two, you can't look at it as the fact that if the project gets in a larger scale, it'll necessarily be cheaper, because putting solar panels on a roof, for example, in the Brunswick, the cost a year ago was over 10 cents. When you put them on flat land, as they did at the county college, it's 2 cents. Now, there's a lot of things that change, SREC and others, but it seems to me logically to say, go forward, get your specs moving, and go also look at a third phase of this to see whether, as a third phase of the project, other municipalities and school districts want to come in. In the meantime, you could study as to whether you want to fund those. In Somerset, they did that. They went out and I think they had 30 or 40, but they saw taxable debt. The cost, I believe, was 4.7 cents. Now, you have a great, I mean, I know you like to help everybody, and I think that's very commendable. But here, you have a project all on land, a little bit on parking lots, which should bring you a very great price. And we think that all the work that's been done beforehand, we can get in and ensure we get the grant, we get that price. In the meantime, the Freeholders want to direct us to look at a third phase and go back through the MCAA, because other than doing it through the third one, once you do the funding, but then you have to come and say, okay, we'd be willing to guarantee, we'd be willing to guarantee the debt. Otherwise, I don't know why the municipalities would want to come first.
Can I ask a question, John? What debt are we guaranteeing? There's no debt involved here at all. All we're doing is funding the professional fees, and there's no debt being put up by the county at all, even for this initiative.
It depends on how you're going to go out and the bid and bring other tenants in. The reason they mostly want to come into a county project is that the county guarantees the debt. Otherwise, they could do this themselves.
Well, but they can't. Well, 2 reasons why they can't. Number one, there's no debt to guarantee. This is a PPA, so there's no upfront money and there's no debt required, correct?
If you just was a straight PPA.
Which is what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. For the
Right.
county.
So what I'm saying is why couldn't we expand that opportunity and provide that to communities? There's no debt that has to be placed on it by the county. There's no.
We're going to fund each of the studies from each of the towns to determine as to who wants to participate.
Well,
and then go out for, you want to do this all together as one PPA
Right.
and get one price,
That's right.
even though the county price independently would be lower?
Well, it's lower than if we went all together. So you're telling me that, first of all, you know as well as I do that the pricing is often predicated upon the size of the project as well. An 8-megawatt system will certainly will provide for a lower opportunity for cost than if a community like a Cranberry or Helmetta went out and did a 10-kilowatt or a 25-kilowatt or a 100-kilowatt project, because in the industry, those are not, first of all, most of the PPAs won't even go out and do those kinds of projects. Unless it's of at least a megawatt or larger or half a megawatt or larger, most of the PPAs won't even do those kinds of projects. All I'm suggesting is that, and I think we should do, is there's no reason why the board can't move on simultaneous tracks. And if for some reason the current staff professional team doesn't have the time to be able to do the solicitation and design for the communities, we can always bring other people on as well. I'm sure that they do have the ability. But what I'm suggesting is that if we go out now and if we send a letter out to our communities and our school districts and tell them that by participating, they have the potential of paying 2.5 cents for electricity, I can't believe that only 3 communities and 3 school districts are going to respond. So if that's the case and we're able to cobble that use together and do one large county PPA for all of those communities that are wishing to participate, I think at the end of the day, number one, we may even end up with a better price, and number two, we're providing a great service to our communities who, without our participation, may not be able to command the same buying power. And as I said, you know as well as I do that in the industry today, most of the large PPAs, like the one that we're ultimately going to do, if you went to them and told them to do a 0.5 meg or 100,000 K, they won't even be bothered doing it because the return isn't there for them. So by bundling it together, we're providing the buying power, much like our Common Sense program does for our purchase power for goods and services, to give communities an opportunity. And, you know, they're struggling out there as much as we are. And if we put the dollars up front for them, but we get the return on the reduced rate, much like we're doing here, we're putting the money up, $800,000 up in professional fees, but we're going to get that back once we sign an agreement. We can do the same thing with Cranberry or any other community. Front the $50,000 or $20,000 for the study, do the engineering work, and when they sign on with us, we get $20,000 back from the vendor.
I would.
Just remember that costs are going to be different on different sites.
Absolutely.
You go to Cranberry, for example, there's a roof. It's an old roof.
Right.
Right away, there's a problem.
Right.
The costs are going to be probably twice as high. And you're not going to get, you're going to lose your roof warranty.
Right.
So you can't look at it to say if we go and have these little increments, the costs are going to be cheaper.
Not necessarily.
The costs will probably be higher if the county bundles it all together to the county, because all these other smaller projects are going to be more costly.
Possibly.
You shouldn't consider it.
We could also do it as options. If you put it into the bid as options, then the provider can also decide.
I'd go forward with this one now, and at the same time study.
I'm all in favor of this. I think I made that pretty clear. But there's no reason why, even with the time that we have left, that we couldn't proceed with a municipal initiative. That's my view.
If the suggestion is that Phase 3, then that's fine. But I don't think we should hold this project up, especially given the fact...
It doesn't hold up the project, is what I'm trying to suggest to you. You can do it on simultaneous track. It's April. We're not. The end of the year is 8 months away.
I understand. Let me finish what I'm saying. Okay. What I said was I think we should proceed in this direction. We should look at a Phase 3 of what was recommended by Mr. Hoffman. And remember this. I mean, we went out once before and solicited from the municipalities an interest, and there was not much interest. So let's proceed with this because it's time sensitive, and then we can think about trying soliciting the municipalities who may be involved.
Well,
we have to understand and appreciate that that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a cheaper price.
Yeah, but I think what we need to do, Director, tonight, if we're under such a time frame, is not sit here and think about it. We need to sit down, and tonight we should decide that, yes, we're going to immediately solicit participation by our communities. We can do a survey of our school districts and communities, see who's interested.
We have a meeting Monday, Freeholder.
Yeah. Well, is that when you want to decide it then?
We can talk about it Monday. We have an agenda meeting and then an official meeting on Thursday. There's no need to do it tonight.
Well, if we can do it by next Thursday, I'm okay with that. I just don't want it to be indefinite.
Yeah, no, we'll discuss it Monday.
That's fine.
I have no problem with that.
And how about with respect to the utilization of the land? John, there's no. I thought about what you said the other day, but to me, there doesn't seem to be any reason why we can't do a quick assessment of land utility so we can give the professional team an idea of how much acreage they really have to work with.
Yeah.
So that the Freeholders and to the rest of the board, so everyone is aware, we have an inventory of all of our facilities throughout the county, both owned and leased, and all the characteristics about those pieces of property, lease periods, square footage. That inventory has been developed. It sits in place. As Dave had mentioned, since only 50% of the property at the adult correction is going to be used, an additional 80 acres are going to be available. We felt that it was more than sufficient that if indeed we move forward and migrate our workforce over to that facility, those 50 acres were more than sufficient to supplement that effort.
Is the 50 acres that are going to be remaining all buildable?
From the standpoint of 50 acres, yes. They should be all buildable. They include the leaf composting area, okay, and the other open areas.
Oh, so they're already, see, that's why we need a master plan. So you're saying that they're utilizing areas that are already being utilized for other things?
Yes, but utilization of an area for leaf composting versus utilizing it for the occupancy of people in buildings is a totally different way to use.
Okay.
In fact, you probably couldn't go through and combine a high-density utilization of the site next to a leaf composting site.
Again, my last comment, and I can see we're not maybe going to move in this direction, but I'm going to put it on the record anyway. We have the ability with current staff, and certainly your professional team, to do a very quick snapshot assessment of how to best utilize the 80 acres, or what is the total that's vacant right now?
The total that's vacant right now is, let's see, probably about
100. So there's no reason why, if we have this list, that we can't compile what the square footage requirements are, what the current uses are, and determine what can fit. It just seems to me to be a prudent thing to do before we go through, commit 50 acres of property to the project, which I'm all in favor of, and then at some point down the road, maybe have to decide that we made a mistake. So I understand it's not up to me, it's up to the board, but it just seems a prudent way to do business. This is the kind of stuff that I think we need to do more of. We need to look a little bit ahead rather than just for today, and take the position, well, if it's in the wrong place, we'll move it in a couple of years. I just don't think that that makes economic sense when we have the ability today to be able to make that decision. I don't see any more.
Freeholder. I think this project should move ahead. Call for a vote.
This is to add it to the consent agenda.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes.
And that will be Resolution 11755.
Resolutions to be held.
There are none.
Resolutions to be voided.
We have one resolution to be voided as directed Monday evening. That's Resolution 11-679.
Okay. Now it's time to open the meeting up for public discussion on resolutions listed on the agenda. Anyone from the public on resolutions listed on the agenda?
Make a motion.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any Freeholder have any resolutions that they wish to remove from the consent agenda and vote on separately?
I do, Freeholder Director. Resolution 11-0672 and Resolution 11-0675.
6-7 what, I'm sorry?
5.
672 and 675.
Anybody else? Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 11-614 through 11-718. In addition, resolutions 11-754 and 11-755, which were the two resolutions just added, and excluding resolutions 11-630 and 11-631, which were previously voted upon, Resolution 11-679 to be voided, and Resolutions 11-672 and 11-675 to be voted upon separately.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes.
Now, Freeholder Director, it would be appropriate to consider the two resolutions that were separated by Freeholder Valenti. That's Resolutions 11-672 and 11-675, and you can consider them together.
Okay. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Rios?
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano?
Yes. At this point, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public. Anyone from the public on any item?
Motion to close.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
That's right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.